This is low pressure storm Kate, and look at this, guys. This is heading for obviously Onakatan. Actually, not really, but look at this. There is so much strong winds. Not really in Onakatan as much right now, as you can see. Not as much, but it definitely had some pretty strong winds. About 58 miles per hour was recorded. Over here, it was 81 miles, about 85 miles an hour recorded here. So let's see how this played out actually on Christmas. Because it's not obviously, So let's start just before Christmas, at about 10 o'clock. You could see that nothing really happened. There wasn't much. But then you saw something really strange over in this area. What was this exactly? It was okay in Onakatan, actually. For Christmas Day, it was actually okay. There wasn't any wind, so that was good. But there was something over here, and Europe, was getting affected by this a ton. No, not as much as what happened later in the day. Now, by this time, Onakatan actually was starting to feel it by noon. But it wasn't as bad, and it was still not that bad. Winds were about 50 kilometers an hour, so it wasn't that bad. That is about. It's only about 31 miles an hour, which is, compared to other times, not as bad. So it was still okay. That was pretty bad in getting into these places over here. It was very harsh over there. It wasn't so bad in Onakatan still. But in Europe, look at that. Okay, this is horrible. Let's put on. Here comes Santa.
You've got a business to grow, but that takes time. Fiverr to the rescue. Freelance services for.
Okay. So everyone, look at this. So this is by 5 o'clock p.m. and you're probably starting to make your Christmas dinner. And look at this. Very, very, very strong winds. And look at this. It was very bad. And look at in Japan, it was really bad. So let's see what happens. It gets even worse. And by this is still not today, but this is actually this is pretty close to it. It's about 8 o'clock on Christmas, and it's pretty bad. It was really bad in Onakatan, but it was even worse in Slovatska Gavin. It was very bad. For some reason, it wasn't so bad in Yuzhno Scarlet because there was the eye there, and actually it was kind of right where it was okay, and especially Dawn's it was like okay there. It was actually fine. There was like almost no wind. They actually were having a pretty good Christmas, but other places it wasn't so good. And I'll show you how it didn't change at all, actually. It got worse in some places. Now, in Europe, it wasn't so bad. But in Onakatan, it's getting really bad. This was about... this is about 85 kilometers an hour. To miles an hour. That's about 52 miles an hour, which is very extremely strong. And that's actually what happened. Like I said, it was 58 miles per hour reported. Okay, perfect. So look at this. These were super strong winds. But then it was soon after the day of Christmas. And for some reason, it moved incredibly fast. For some strange reason. And it got fine. Or did it? This is actually what happened. Okay. Santa Claus coming. So here it is, and it's actually not bad here. Like, you could agree, right? Well, look at this. It gets worse again, and it comes back. So it gets really, really bad. And so, by 3 a.m., it is very, very bad, but it's actually okay over in the peninsula. And for Anakatan, it just got out of the worst part. Now it's 3 a.m. And so it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad on this peninsula. So yeah, let's see what happens. This is now about 5 a.m. and look at this. This is probably one of the worst times. Look at this. By the way, this is way over 100 kilometers an hour. This must be 115 kilometers. Miles per hour. Let's see. About 71 miles per hour. That makes sense, but it got much worse than that. Definitely. And now on the peninsula, it was getting a little worse. And in Anakatan, it was getting a little better. Definitely some snow, though. By 7 a.m., it's soon now actually our time. It's still really bad. Wait, I'm gonna search up time in Anakatan. Because I want to see what time it is. Okay, so it's 2:17. Okay. That's okay. That makes actually kind of sense. So this is what happens at about 10 a.m. Look at this. It's extremely bad. And actually, by the way, this stretches so far. It stretches all the way to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Am I? Yeah, I'm probably allowed to. This all stretches up to North Korea, which was pretty bad, but I don't care about them. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, there was even some effects in some like parts of like north of Tokyo, just a little bit north of Tokyo. There was in Nagota, and yeah, that was pretty bad, but it wasn't definitely as bad as this. So we're gonna keep continuing. So look at this. It's really bad. It stretches all the way, even kind of Seoul, kind of, not exactly, but it also stretches all the way into like the middle Pacific Ocean. Come Santa Claus, you come Santa Claus. But anyway, so as you can see, it doesn't. Is this ever gonna go away? And that's the question. This is pretty much current time, and so let's see what happens after this. This is what might happen at about 5 p.m. And as you can see, nothing's changing. Actually, it might be getting even worse. As you can see, it might even get worse. This is by, I think, 7 o'clock? Yeah. Look at this. There's even some strong winds all the way over here. And here we go. This might happen at about 10 p.m. today. So look at that. Kind of a huge swirl. And some separate storms are starting to form, but nothing. This probably gonna last for a very long amount of time. Still really bad. You can see that this is over. This must be 195 or 100 kilometers per hour still along here. As this sort of weakens, but look at this. Extremely still strong winds almost everywhere. Yeah, it's crazy. So let's see what happens now. This is by tomorrow at about 2 a.m. No change at all. And actually, maybe even worse here in Magadan. Anyway, look at that. Super strong winds over here, just off Onakatan. But in Europe, it's still very, very bad. Maybe not in the center, but definitely in other places. Once again, still not as bad as that, you know. Okay. So, I think. We need to get some. We need to get some music. Okay, let's just get this. Because this one's okay. I used it yesterday, but, you know. So, anyway. It's still extremely bad. As you can see, it's starting to kind of weaken in the actual city right here. But over in the, maybe over here, it's starting to get really bad still. It's still really bad. It might be, you know. And the eye's not actually moving at all, which is very bad, because that means it's still going to stay. Now, this, the storm that I was talking about over here, that was keep coming over here, actually broke apart from the actual storm. It's kind of starting to form an eye, or what might happen. You can see that, and this is still part of, this is a new thing, and now it's really bad in Magadan. So that's the bad thing about breaking apart. This is still by about 2 p.m. tomorrow for you guys. So it's still really bad. Where were we? Okay, sometime tomorrow. I think it was, no, I think it was, here, let's see this. So you can see it breaks off, and there we go. But is it going to form back together? Looks like it just completely weakens, and that weakens too. And this is where it starts to get interesting. This kind of starts to lose its strength, but this area of bands doesn't at all, nor does this. And it's kind of starting to form into a separate storm, but not yet. Oh no, so I need it. Okay, let's go to tomorrow, whatever. What time did we put for tomorrow? Oh yeah, right here. So this is where it breaks off or whatever. So this is where it breaks off, and so that kind of breaks off and kind of moves on its own. But then it actually kind of starts to come back with the storm. And this is what starts to get a little better, but still very, very bad. And Dewey being reminded, look at all of this over here. This is not extremely strong winds, but when you have a lot of it, it's pretty bad. And now this is starting to kind of go away over here. But down here, it's still pretty bad. And wow. Unexpected kind of turn. This, wait, what happened? Okay, so that was the bad storm. So what happened is kind of this kind of broke apart. And this is what happens. Look at this, guys. This is going to be probably the most surprising thing. This breaks off, turns into a monster, and goes towards here. And this completely kind of weakens. But look at this. This affects Onigatan severely. This is going to kind of be our next low pressure storm. Kind of. So, as you can see, this one completely almost weakened, breaking into many storms. Look at this. This is not as strong, but now it's kind of giving another kind of band to it. See how, like, it's still pretty bad here. It's not like over for this. This is still about, like, maybe about 20 or 25 miles an hour. It's still strong. But now this is kind of where the action comes in on it. It's right next to the eye. And actually, the eye is kind of in Shikotan, but not exactly. So let's see what happens later on. Look at this. It's 10. I mean, it's 9. Now, look at this. It's actually, the south side is right on the eye, while this side still has a little bit of wind. But this has almost no wind by 9 o'clock. And Onigatan, only the north side is actually really bad, because it's right in the eye. It actually gets bad once again here. And yeah, so it continues for you guys. Very unfortunate. But let's see what happens next. It moves off. It kind of starts to weaken a little bit, but not completely. It still continues on, moving kind of south, which is actually kind of a good idea, making the water a little warmer at least. And actually, this breaks off into another storm, but we're going to track that also later. And it's not really actually moving that one. But let's see what happens now. What happened now. Now it's traveling very south to Europe, kind of. Or whatever you call it. And here we go. Like, it's really, it's actually okay. But it's really bad. Once again, these guys are just getting completely hammered. Let's see what happens. Now this kind of doesn't even move at all. So let's see what happens next. That other storm we'll check on. But now it kind of just weakens. And see how it weakens eventually? So it kind of weakens. But now let's go to that other storm that we were showing. See how it's kind of a part of everything? So this is how it started. Well, it was still really bad here. Over in the other area, it actually started to form an eye and broke off. And that's actually kind of why this weakened, but this didn't. And so this was off of the storm, but was still kind of making effects in Petrovac Peninsula. Now let's see what happens to it. Now it starts to kind of weaken. This is mostly because this kind of starts to weaken, and so because they were kind of apart, and so and also this is like these waters. This is about waters about 20 degrees. So that's another reason. Now this doesn't really move that much, and kind of just stays there. It doesn't really do much. Just like this, not producing extremely strong winds, but still a lot, and actually almost affecting Tokyo, but not exactly. But let's talk about this. So it kind of gets affected again, but then it kind of completely weakens. Now, this is where this completely weakens, and this goes off. Let's see where it actually goes. It's over there, okay. So it must be over here. Yeah, moving on to here. Yeah. And it kind of completely just weakens, right? Well, not weakens, but still becomes not very strong for the next couple of days. Yep, definitely. So it's not doing anything. And then eventually it forms into a storm. And so what happens is that, let's check. We need to go to the next area. Okay.
Merry Christmas!
And so this is where it goes. It kind of forms with another storm and kind of breaks apart too. And then it completely starts to weaken. And then, wait. It's strong 1 minute. It completely goes. Do you guys see that? Wait. I mean, that kind of makes sense, but that just completely weakens and gets eaten up by this storm. So, yeah. That's kind of what it was. But also, there was another storm, actually. There's going to be another storm affecting, actually, let's do your daily forecast. Let's check, what it's going to be like for New Year's for everyone. So let's check first on a Catan. It's probably gonna be not so good. I don't think it's gonna be so good. Right now it's 23 miles an hour, just because you know that storm. So kind of just goes away for a little bit, obviously, and then it comes back up again. But actually, it's gonna be okay for New Year's, but New Year's Eve, it's gonna be okay too. It's not very strong winds. Actually, no strong winds at here. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna be good for. It's actually one of the first times I ever said that. Now let's look at the capital, though. I don't know so much about the capital. I know what it's gonna be like. I know exactly what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be not. It's not gonna be bad. It's gonna be good. I mean, it's gonna be good. Just like expected. It's gonna be a little cold. But besides that, yeah. What other islands? We have? Well, we obviously have Clipperton. Don't forget Clipperton City and Clipperton. So. What the heck is that? It doesn't make any sense. I really don't get that. No, why does it say it in... Why does it say it in Celsius? Let me change that. Oh, here we go. Okay, right. So let's see how it's going to be for New Year's. Might be okay. Looks like it's going to be okay. Ooh, but it's gonna get... What the heck? Why did it get so cold then? On the 6th. On the 6th of December. What the heck? I think that's a glitch, guys. I honestly think that's a glitch. That's a glitch. But for New Year's, it's gonna be great. I mean, not... Obviously, the normal kind of showers... just occasional showers, though not that bad. Maybe just a shower, and maybe just a shower. Maybe about 40% chance for nighttime, and then for New Year's Day, let's see how it's gonna be like for that. It's gonna be mostly sunny and humid. So, yeah, guys, yeah, let's what do you guys want to do? Well, guys, I actually have a lot of news. What? Why did I think of that? Guys, a lot of news about, well, guys, so if you guys didn't know, I'm actually starting we're starting a air station and a grapefruit store, or actually just a regular store, because there's other stuff that sells, but mostly grapefruit. So it's called Extreme Grapefruit Store, but I'm probably changing it to a grocery store. And also I'm getting really good. It's Christmas. And I got some pretty cool stuff. I got a weather station. Actually, just 1 second. I could show you. No, I can't. I'll show you later, yo. Good. Yeah, we're starting an air station. I want to see if they accept it on Google Maps. I don't know if they did. No, air station's still not. I am level 2 though, so I'm really good. Anyway, let's check the what's happening. Okay, that's what the camera is. But guys, where's the captain? Right. Right. Okay, that's where the right garage station. No, I mean not the garage station. His name is called. No, no. How do you spell grocery? Store. Maybe. Here you go. We don't need that. So. It's open. Mm. 11. Let's see if it works. I need to add it as a place. Okay, so I know that's a cat. I need to put what's here. Add a label. Okay. Over there. No, but I need to add that as a place. Anyway, and then put his air station right there. There we go. So we have two. There we go. Now we can see it. It would be like right here. Right over here. And we would have the air station over there, and we have a grocery store over there. So yeah. And if you don't really like the grocery store, well then go to the Gelson's Market. Go to the Gelson's Market, not to us though. Because that's for me. Like, just go to this market that's pretty close, and there's a gas station there. If you have a car, just go to that gas station. If you just have one, if you want more stuff, or if you don't, I don't know. If you don't like our stuff, well then go to freaking Gelson's or something. This is what it looked like in 2008. Oh, whoa, that is sad. That is extremely sad. I'm not to cry, I'm just kidding. Wow, this used to be so bad. Now it's really great. Wow, it looked so depressing here. Oh my god. I mean, at least it looked okay. I mean, I could say that. But now in 2015, it's so boss. Look at that. But the great thing is, if you live in Luxhaven, well, there's a market conveniently located here. So, yeah. This place used to look like horrible. Like, look, 2012, this is what it looked like. It's pretty bad. Well, actually, no, there was no difference. June 2012. I think we have it. There we go. So you can see it looks pretty bad. Yeah, it looks not so good, like, honestly. Yeah, it definitely looks much more boring, and I have that old here. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, that would be where the kind of the grocery store would be. If you have any, well, you could go close to it. That's cool. You can see what it looked like a long time ago. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah.